Want to pass that real estate exam and know how? Well, it takes a lot of practice with questions and answers, and of course, vocabulary, and more vocabulary. So today we're going to review some national questions and the answers. I point out keywords, and on the second session of it, we do Texas real estate questions for those past testing for Texas. So during the class, participate by typing the question number and the letter answer. Should anyone get it incorrect, I will then help you understand it, and so that you can next time get it right. And good morning, Lisbeth. Good morning, Elsa. And anybody watching the replay, hey, I provide time to watch to listen to the question and the answers and apply with an answer or type an answer. Okay. I'm coming to you from San Antonio, Texas. This is Lillie Handy, Wild Lillie Handy with YouTube Agent Prep, here to help you prepare to pass your real estate exam, the national exam, and the Texas exam. So if you have any questions, type them in the chat and let's get doing it, so that you pass that exam. Oh, and affirm every day. I passed, and I passed. To be a realtor. I did a short yesterday and I says, how do we pronounce realtor? Is it realtor or is it realtor? It's actually realtor. There is no A between the L and the T. Just a note so that when you start becoming a realtor, you pronounce it correctly. All right. So, and I haven't even had my coffee yet, okay? So I'm all energized already. So let me share my screen here. So if you ever want to know whereabouts we're at on this book that I use, okay, excellent book. You can purchase the book and the link is in the description. This is the book that I use, and a new one will be published this year. So it's an awesome book. And I do have permission from the authors, okay, to use it on here. Good morning, Cindy. Therefore, not to worry, okay? However, you can buy this on Kindle or buy the hard copy and follow during the lessons. There's another book in the description where you are able, let me see if I can show you that on the description. Hold on. So there's a free book. It's really old. Oh my gosh, but it is excellent. My students referred it to me back in 2014 when we started doing this. And so the book is here. Okay, it's this one right here. All right. No, pardon me. And you can download it online. You can purchase it. However, it is online. And you can search for Texas Real Estate Sales Exam 4th Edition by Learning Express, or click this link. And it's a PDF, 287 pages. It has the questions, the answers explained. It also has a Scantron. It has vocabulary. And then it itemizes the questions on each exam per topic. So if you are weak in a certain topic, either for national or for Texas, you can go to those particular questions and better improve on them. And for those of you in Texas, Trek, okay, one of my recent students, Trek has a whole section of frequently asked questions. This is probably also in every state. At your real estate commission, they probably have lots of questions that you can practice right there. I mean, lots of them. And so you click on the words, and then it shows the explanation. All righto. So let me get this back where I had it. All right. So free material there. Now, another place you can get other free information is by going to my prep. Oops, no, we don't want the answers. Going to my Facebook Agentprep website or Facebook site, right? And on there, I do have, hold on, I do have lots of freebie stuff, okay, that's in the section called guides. I have 14 guides in there or in files. And there's one that is the night before the exam. Actually, I think I added it on the description to prepare the night before the exam. So lots of resources, everyone, that are available online on my Facebook group, on Prep Agents Facebook group. He's excellent. He's been around, gosh, since 2012 or earlier. And like me, was a realtor and a broker. So great education from him. There are other videos that you can watch online. Another one is, what is it? Real Estate Wizard or something like that. He also does a lot of explanation on questions and answers. So you have many choices. Okay. Oh, yes, Elsa. So Texas is Texas. Okay. So any questions for national and any questions for Texas apply to all cities in Texas. So thank you for the question. All right. Today we're starting with question number, I think it's 137. Let me see. Yes, we're starting with question 137. So should you purchase the book, you'll be able to follow with the questions. And, just a reminder, I had a little experience this week. When you pass your exam and then you join a brokerage and an MLS, your starting out fees are going to be really high. So you have to pay the yearly fee for the local board, Texas, and national or whatever state you're in. And then you have to pay the quarterly dues. If you don't pay that, the local board will put you inactive on their MLS, not on the state. Okay, so just a note on that, because that happened this week to one of my students that joined me at EXP. All right. So when real property is held in a land trust, who controls the property? You know what? Yeah, we might have done that one, but that's okay. Let's see if you get it right. So who controls the property? Okay, when real property is held in a trust. Type your answer in the chat. It's a trustor, the trustee, the beneficiary, or the mortgagee. The we, right? With the EE and the OR. So we've got some answers coming on. All right. So I'm making sure that I don't screw up. All right. So we have, let's see, we've got the beneficiary, see. Yes, it is the beneficiary, right? Because the beneficiary owns the trust, they own the property. However, it's multi-level asset protection. So that anyone that, let's say you have a lot of rentals, you own a lot of property, somebody wants to sue you, all right? If you have it all on your name, oh my God, they'll sue you based on all your properties. However, when you have it on the land trust, you can name the land trust under the address of the property or someone else's name or whatever you like. And then you have a trustor, someone that you trust who manages your land trust, okay, and has your permission to do certain things that you allow them to. And then that's the trustee. And then you're the beneficiary, and the trustor, you're the owner. However, you don't use your name because the trustor could be an LLC, or a corporation. So it'll make it really difficult for individuals to find that. They'll have to spend money, hire attorneys or whatever in order to find what all properties you know. So that it's a form of a multi-level asset protection. Owner is the beneficiary. Trustor could be an LLC, a corporation, and the trustee is the person that is managing or handling that land trust. Okay. Whenever you see a trust, there are what, 3 parties, right? Very good. Awesome. All right, number 38. All right, let me make sure that I type the answer on Facebook, because sometimes I have individuals watching on Facebook. This is being streamed to Facebook and to YouTube. All right, there we go. All right, number 38. In a community property state, John marries Patricia. Prior to the marriage, John owned an SUV. And during the marriage, John bought a Buick. John and Patrick bought a second property with money earned from Patrick's job. And each individual received a motorcycle from Patrick's uncle as a gift. What property is community property in this marriage? The SUV, the Buick, and the second property. The SUV, the Buick, the second property, and the motorcycles. C, the Buick and the second property. Or D, the Buick, the second property, and the motorcycles. All right, so we've got CCC so far. Anyone else? There's a lot of you on here. Be brave, take a risk. And you know, the day we're born, it became a risk. So might as well take a risk and type an answer in the chat. And yes, the answer is C, the Buick and the second property, right? Because it says, so prior to marriage, John owned an SUV, okay? And then John bought a Buick. John and Patricia bought a property, okay, with money earned from Patricia's job. So it is community money. And each one received a motorcycle as a gift. So which ones were bought during the marriage? The Buick and the second property. Okay, I'm going to type the number 37 on here for those that may be watching the replay on Facebook. Okay, number 39. Moving right along. Hi, Delta Soft, Delta Airsoft. There's something soft about it. All right, so the answer there was 37C. Very good. Number 39. Which of the following is true of cooperative? What is a cooperative? Okay. And so we're dealing with, let's see, what type of questions are we dealing with here? Normally I let you know. Darn it, I forgot. Okay, so let's just check really quick. Okay. So that you know, and you've got your mind thinking about it. Oh, never mind. They're now mixed in. Okay. So what are we on here? 139. Oh my goodness, Lily, keep messing up. Which of the following is true of a cooperative? A cooperative may hold an owner liable for unpaid operating expenses of other tenants. B, the owners have a fee simple interest in the airspace in their respective apartments. Or C, owners may sublease their apartments even if they sell their stock in the cooperative. Or D, the proprietary lease is guaranteed and have a fixed rate of rent over the life of the lease term. So remember, a cooperative. All right, so we have 39A. Anyone else? Okay, we've got Delta Airsoft here. So it says, to keep it simple, airsoft is like paintball. Okay, got it. But instead of shooting paint, they shoot plastic balls or BBs. Okay, got it. Thank you for explaining that. So anyone else answering number 39? So number 39 is A. A cooperative may hold an owner liable for the unpaid operating expenses of other tenants. Okay, because it's owned by a corporation, and the owners would end up doing a proprietary lease. So everyone is, responsible for those expenses. Very good. Number 40. And anyone that just came in, we are doing national questions that apply to all 50 states. So please participate, type the question number and the letter answer. Which of the following is true of a tenancy in common? What kind of ownership? There's 4 different ownerships, right? So this is tenancy in common. They have something in common, but not everything, right? So which one is true? A, the co-owners must be related. B, the owners enjoy an indivisible interest. What's indivisible? See, vocabulary. They don't divide it and use just portions of it, right? So they enjoy an indivisible interest. C, the tenants must acquire their interest at the same time. Or D, the tenants must pay equal amounts for their interest in the estate. So what is it? What kind of ownership did they get? No, the answer here is B. The owners enjoy an indivisible interest. So they bought a property and they can own different percentages. Okay. They don't have to own 50-50. It could be 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, 90-10. Okay. They own different percentages or equal. It's 2 or more individuals, and it has no survivorship. Okay. So it doesn't go to the survivor of the partnerships because it's not a joint tenancy type of ownership. It's not a marriage. Okay. Therefore, and the indivisible means they're going to get to enjoy 100% of the property, right? Not just, hey, this portion is yours, this portion is mine, stay out of my section and I'll stay out of yours. No. It's not that way. You buy a property, your financial interest could be equal or different, yet the enjoyment of the property, the possession of the property is 100%. That is what indivisible is. So go back and review vocabulary. Or what? Tenancy in common and indivisible, right? So the other types of ownership, right? There are 4. 4. Severalty. You're severing from everyone else. It's just one. It's an individual or it's an entity. LLC, subcorp, corporation. Okay. Partnership. So depending on whether it's a corporation, partnership, or LLC, then it determines who gets to sign, because only one individual signs. No survivorship, right? Because it's they don't have any partners. The second one is tenancy in common, 2 or more individuals, no survivorship. Okay, indivisible interest, different types of percentages are equal. Then joint tenancy or joint tenants, right? You got joints in your shoulders, right? They're attached, and therefore that has to meet 4 conditions. TTIP. And what does that stand for? Time, title, interest, possession. They bought it at the same time, took title the same way. They have equal interest and they have 100% possession. And this one has survivorship, meaning if one of those joint tenants passes away, their portion goes to the others. So they have to have equal a percentage interest. It could be 4 of them, 25%, 3 of them, 33 and a third, right? And then the fourth one is tenancy by the entirety. So there are tenants by the entirety. That's for couples in about 7 or 8 states. It is community property. So in tenancy, tenants by the entirety, okay, it has survivorship, meaning one dies, it goes to the other spouse, okay, doesn't go to the heirs. In community property, it could go to the heirs, or the spouse. So go back and review those 4 different types of ownerships in your notes, or much easier, Google it. Like they say in Spanish, hey man, googlealo. Because yes, do I speak Spanish? Am I Latina? Yes, I am. And very proud of it, right? Hey, I'm a major mix, man. I'm a mutt. All right, number 41. So, we're here to make it fun, right? Because when you learn in different ways. You could have classical music. I like, disco music or other. It preps me up. It chills me up. And or you have, let's see, a diffuser with a particular scent that you like, a cologne that makes you feel awesome, comfortable, macho man, macho dude, however it makes you feel, and an environment that you're comfortable in studying, and use the same environment, every time if you can. So everyone has a different way of studying. Now, there's I'm going to let you know the best way to study is in 20-minute sessions or 25-minute sessions. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of research that says we remember the beginning of every 20-minute or 25-minute session and the end. The more shorter sessions you have, the more you're going to remember. And get up for 1 minute or 2 to 3 minutes, stretch around, drink some water, and come back to it. Okay, the mind doesn't take a long time to get restarted in those short periods. There is what is called the Pomodoro tomato or alarm, and it actually sets an alarm for every 25 minutes so that you can take a break. It's called the red tomato. If you search for the red tomato on the internet, you can buy that to help you time it. You also can download the app on your phone. Oh my gosh, Tanya Dangerfield, one of my ex-students, Keitra Lee. So welcome. Say hi to Tanya, Keitra. I just noticed you. Okay, so anyone that is on Facebook, okay, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give StreamYard Facebook permission to give StreamYard permission to type your name here on StreamYard, because I'm using StreamYard to stream to Facebook and to YouTube. And when you use StreamYard to give permission, then your name's going to show up like this, except you're using your sister's or your mom's instead of Facebook user. Okay. All right, so this is where you would go to this website and give it permission. It's really quick. It takes you a few seconds. All right, so, I get off a little bit track because I remember of things that are important for you to help you prepare and pass that exam, things that I learned, every day. All right, number 41. So Carissa and Robert acquire a condominium as tenants in common. What kind of ownership? Tenants in common. They've got something in common. In this circumstance, Carissa can sell her interest to a third party without the consent of Robert. B, use her interest in the estate to mortgage the entire estate. C, sell her interest only to Robert. Or D, sell, encumber, or transfer her interest only with the consent of Robert. So what type of interest is it? What type of ownership? What are the requirements on that ownership. All right, so we have A, right? Sell her interest to a third party without the consent of Robert, right? Because they have things in common. Tenancy in common, they don't have a partnership. They're not tied, okay, to the joint, and they're indivisible ownership, right? They have a indivisible use of the whole property, but they can have different percentages. They cannot get a loan or a mortgage for the whole property, only for their portion. So if they own 50%, it doesn't become tenants by the entirety, right? Because they're not married. It's just they have equal interest, and they have indivisible interest, means that they get to enjoy the whole property. And it does not have survivorship. Therefore, they can sell it to somebody else without letting the other person know or buy it. So should you ever see me type a wrong answer, please let me know, okay? Because I'm looking at 3 different screens, okay? YouTube, Facebook, Kindle, and then my screen in front of me, all right? In StreamYard. Oh, and that lets me know. Once you start real estate, learn to get thick skin and not take things personal from other realtors, clients, buyers, sellers, all the other team members, title companies, inspectors, appraisers, repair individuals, lenders, because you're going to be dealing with so many different personalities. And if you take things personal, you're not going to make it in this business. All right. Really. Okay. 87% of individuals don't make it. I hate to tell you that here, but if you really want to make it, really learn and research this business and talk to a lot of other realtors. Okay. All right. Number 42. When a tenant in common dies, what kind of ownership? Tenant in common dies. What happens to the tenant's interest in the estate? And what do they call it? Tenants. Okay, they call it tenants because on the contract it'll say owner or tenant. Okay, buyer or tenant, and because it could be a buyer or it could be a tenant. And it's just a common word that they use, right? They're a tenant on that property for a certain time, right? It's a type of an estate, which we reviewed last week. So the tenant in common dies. What happens to their interest? A, it is divided equally among the surviving tenants in common. B, the surviving tenant must buy the interest from the deceased tenant's heirs to sell their interest to the heirs. Or C, it becomes a joint tenancy. Or D, it passes to probate to the deceased tenant's heirs. All right, so far we've got D. Hey, I'm going to ask you all for some love. Okay, there's at least 7 or 8 or 9, 10 people on here watching on YouTube. Send me some love by tapping that thumbs up, all right? No thumbs down, okay? If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything, or say it in French, German, Russian, whatever other language that most people don't understand. So send me some love, all right? It helps the analytics of my channel. And it just lets me know that you appreciate what I'm doing. And hopefully it helps you pass your exam. All right. So the answer here was D. It passes by probate. And what is probate? To the deceased tenant's heirs. And if your main language is another language, so there would be, passes, probate, deceased, tenants, heirs, lots of vocabulary there, right? So the answer is D. For the thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Number 43. Moving right along. You see, I wish I had some music. If I put music in the background while I'm live, YouTube may not let me monetize the channel or that particular video. And you're going to say, what the heck is that, man? Well, should you become a YouTuber, you'll learn all about that. That's for another lesson in the future. Number 43. Which of the following is true of a joint? Okay, you got joints all over, right? Yeah, wrist, multiple joint tenancy. What type of one of the four tenancies is it? A, the tenants can determine the size of share owned by each tenant. B, the size of the tenant's share is determined by the amount of equity each has invested in the property. Or C, the tenants have an equal and indivisible ownership interest. Or D, there can be no more than two co-owners and each has a 50% interest. All right, Miss Cindy is on the ball here and Lisbeth getting it down. So we've got a C so far. So if many of you are wondering, am I still a practicing realtor? Yes, I am. Okay. One of my listings went active on Thursday. It's a great day to get listings on the MLS because agents start looking for showing on the weekend. And we're negotiating a contract, and I've got several other buyers. And how are I getting some of these? Well, do you know what? I started cold calling. Not something that I liked. I'm stretching the envelope, and that's what you're going to do in real estate. All right, so the answer here is C. The tenants have an equal, all right? If there are two, 50-50. If there are three, 33 and a third. And indivisible, it's not divided into portions of the land, okay? They have 100% possession and 100% ownership interest. So there's the financial interest and then there's the property interest, okay? So it is C, joint tenancy, right? They have to have T-tip, time, title, interest, possession. It's got to meet those three. And it has survivorship. So one passes away, it goes to the other partners. And there is another condition that you might want to know. So what if one of them decides they want to sell and the other three partners don't want to buy? So they sell it to an outside person from the joint tenancy. Therefore, that new owner is a tenant in common. They have a percentage in common, possession and enjoyment, but they don't have the survivorship and the T-tip conditions. Okay, so that person becomes joint tenant with the other three. Lots of little things to know on, each of these things. So remember, vocabulary, joint tenancy, tenants, equity, invested, indivisible, ownership, interest, all those are vocabularies, okay, or glossary or whatever you want to call them, or definitions. So is it important to watch vocabulary videos? Yes. Yes. And more yes. All right, number 44. In contrast to a tenancy in common, in a joint tenancy, what exists? A, there is a single title to the property. B, there are many titles to the property as there are co-owners. C, title is held by a trustee. Or D, co-owners who are married hold separate titles. Tenancy in common versus joint tenancy. What's the difference? Both are two or more. I can tell you that. So think about it. So let's see, we've got 144A. So let's see. Are you correct? So there is a single title to the property. That is correct. There is one title. They took title, time, interest, possession. And whenever you own a property, there's one title. Okay. It's just different ownership, different interest. 144A, there is a single title. One of these days, I'll get my assistant to type all these questions on one slide, okay? And that way I won't have to do this. All right, number 45. If a joint tenant sells his or her interest to an outside party, A, the new owner becomes a tenant in common with the other owners who continues to hold a joint tenancy with each other and a tenancy in common with the new owner. Oh, I just mentioned that. B, the joint tenancy continues with the new owner as the third joint tenant. Or C, the joint tenancy terminates and all owners become tenants in common. Or is it D, the joint tenancy terminates and the owners must create a new joint tenancy to include the new owner? Remember, TTIP, time, title, interest, possession, right? So time, title, interest, possession. All right, we've got A. So what is that? Apple, 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 apple. And the answer is apple, apple, apple. The new owner becomes a tenant in common with the other owners who continue to hold a joint tenancy with each other and a tenancy in common with the new owner. Very good. You were all listening, huh? Awesome. Oh, dang, I forgot to post 144 on Facebook. Hi, Annie. Thank you for joining us. Annie Kong. Hey, I was watching King Kong this week, but I didn't want to watch to the ending because it was sad. You know, us humans do strange things to certain animals that we're afraid of or we want to make money from. So what was 144? Okay. So I stopped the movie at the happy part. 145. All right. So anybody who just came on, if you see me going from left to right to center and going up, I've got 3 different monitors going on. All right. So I seem to go a little crazy. That's just me, the engineering mind and the real estate mind and numbers mind. All right. Number 146. And wouldn't you know it, people used to tell me I was not going to make it in this business. So be very careful who the heck you listen to. Okay, when you're studying for this, or you can't make it, or you're taking the exam over and over and over, and you think, oh man, it's not meant for me. Bull crap. Just keep doing it. You want something bad enough, you got to work your butt off to make it and to pass it. Okay. So if I had listened to all those people back in the, mid or late 2007, do you think I'd still be here? Oh, you're too analytical. You think numbers too much. You're too linear, and you don't build good relationships. Well, I'm still here. Some of them are not. Okay, and now it's what, 2023. All right. Yeah, I've slowed down sometimes. Okay. And I just jump started my business again. So I'm now really busy and I have 2 YouTube channels. I'm helping sellers. I'm helping buyers. I'm cold calling. I'm creating YouTube videos about communities. So get ready for what the real world of real estate is and listen to yourself, not to everybody else, except if it's to teach you about the real estate business and people, because you always want to learn. All right, so here's a comment. Thank you for that. Needed to hear it. Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm starting to create some video shorts on my YouTube channel about what really is it like to be a realtor. Tell you the reality, what I've dealt with, what I've gone through in 3 different markets, okay? And coming from an engineering mind. Did I like real estate as a realtor? Heck no, I didn't want to be a realtor. I didn't respect them, right? Because in engineering, we study a lot of ethics. We have to be very ethical, right? Because anything we do wrong impacts the public with whatever equipment we are selling or building and creating, bridges and streets, everything. So ethics, it's very important in this business. However, what did I find in common between engineering and real estate? Well, we're all helping people. We're all finding solutions. We're all creating, solving problems. That's what we do in real estate. So listen to yourself. Listen to your gut feeling. There's a lot of naysayers. Oh man, you're never going to make it. Heck, man, I went through a lot of stress. Did I go through some depression shit? Yeah. Oops. Sorry. YouTube doesn't like bad language. And I've dealt with a lot of different things. We develop a thick skin. We let go of individuals that are always impacting us and telling us no or yeah, like if they were the expert. Everyone thinks they're experts out there. Well, no, there aren't. Okay. That's why you go to a doctor as an expert if you need to have an appendix removed or a heart replaced or surgery on your body, right? Everyone has a different expertise. So you want something bad enough, go after it and do what it takes. Do not give up. There is no crying and giving up. To make it, it takes hard, lot of work. Reading lots of books like I have in the background to continue to learn and understand the business, understand the clients, how to read the clients, how to behave with certain clients, and you develop a thick skin. That is a must. If you get sensitive or take everything personal, you're not going to make it. All right. And I want to say you're going to make it. But you want to go into this business with reality, realistic. Talk to a lot of other realtors and ask them what it's like. So that's what I'm doing now on my YouTube channel, is creating those types of live shorts. And sorry that I went on a tangent here, but it's really hitting me nowadays because so many of those that joined me at EXP are leaving after, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year. Okay. It's not what they expected. And it is a very tough business. It can be easy when we create systems, when we create schedules, when we put it on our calendar. Okay. And that is where we attend a lot of sessions with other realtors, other experts, read books, always learning to improve your business. Because why? You're the boss of you. You're the owner of this business, unless you join a team as an official team and they train you. So let's see what's in it. Yes, love this. Life is full of choices. You have to make the choice which guides you. Yes. So whatever you choice you make, it's your decision, nobody else's. So take the consequences. Don't blame anybody else. Don't point fingers, okay, at someone else because it was your choice. All right. Okay, keep going. So which one did we? Sorry, I go on a tangent, but it's like, man, I want you to realize what the heck you're getting into. My family tells me I'm crazy, okay, to be in this business. Okay, what I just finished 145. Okay, man, I lost my train of thought here. You see how quickly we can lose our train of thought? That happens when we're studying too. All right, number 146. So I hope that in addition to learning questions and answers here, you're also learning a little bit of what it's going to be like in reality. Oh, hey, and just for example, my sponsor, I have a sponsor with a similar last name. Okay, my sponsor is Kyle Handy, and I'm Lillie Handy. Well, I'm Wild Lillie Handy Dominguez, right? So anyway, his wife's going to get his real estate license. Okay. And he called me yesterday because why? I've kind of become a little bit of an expert as tutoring to help his students prepare as to what his wife could study. Okay. And which direction she should take. All right. And he's an excellent top producer, one of the top in our company, EXP, our brokerage. Okay. Learn a lot from him and others. So 46, when a joint tenant dies, okay, what is it? Joint, you got joints here, you got joint from your head to your shoulders, okay, joints on your elbows, joints on your wrists, right? All these parts work together. So when there's a joint tenant relationship, they all work together, right? They're all one in a way, TTIP. So when a joint tenant dies, what happens to the tenant's interest in that estate, right? Because it's an estate. They have a real estate, an interest in real property. So A, it passes to the descendants' heirs who become joint tenants. B, it passes to as a tenancy in common to the descendants' heirs. C, the joint tenancy terminates and becomes a tenancy in common with the descendant heirs and the surviving tenants as co-owners. Or D, it passes to the surviving joint tenants. So if you lose a wrist, what happens to the rest of the body? It stays there, right? If you lose a finger at the joint, well, you lose this part, but the rest of the body stays there, right? And if they add a pneumatic or a Titanic finger, well, now it becomes a part of the body, but it's different. Okay, it may not bend, it may not do the other things. So it's what? It wasn't born together at the same time, at the same day, from the same parents. So the answer here is D. It passes to the surviving joint tenants. One of them dies, it goes to the others. And the one that became the new partner, the new common owner, that one is, well, here it says if one tenant dies, okay, their share goes to the other. So, all right. So very good. Okay, any questions on the national portion of the exam? So this national portion was for everyone throughout the United States. Same questions, same ideas, same vocabulary. When it comes to the state portion, then there are your state laws. Now, there are contract laws that apply to national, to all 50 states. So your books will have, your prep books will have national contract laws, okay? Contract concerns, cases. Now there are state-specific contract laws, okay? So every state has national contract laws, and then every state has their own specific contract laws. That's why you have a class on contracts for that particular state. All right. Any questions on this national? Okay, we're going to shift into Texas questions now. So for anyone that here that is from another state, I'm going to miss you. I basically have been doing Texas because I am in Texas. And I hope to one of these days, okay, be able to help in other states. However, the national impacts you the most because that's where you have the most questions. So attending my classes impacts you a large percentage of your exam. And I really stress, okay, vocabulary and topics. If you want to know a particular topic, okay, Prep Agent and the Real Estate Wizard and other individuals focus on topics. I literally have focused on questions and answers since I started back in 2014. So it's a different way. So why do you think most people fail in this business? All right, so that's an excellent question because before going into it, okay, a lot of people think, oh man, I love looking at houses. I love showing property. I love going on the weekends and doing that. And I love helping people, talking to people. However, who do you mostly talk to regularly? your own family, your friends, other, you have a small world unless in a university or other locations. So many go into this with an unrealistic thought of what real estate is going to be. Oh man, I'm going to have a flexible schedule. They're going to give me leads and I can work whenever I want. I can do it part-time and I'll make some money here and there. Well, to make money here and there, no matter what kind of money it is in what other industry, it takes a lot of work. It's starting from scratch and it could take a week to get a lead and start making money with a rental, or it could take months if we don't create a schedule, a system, and a way of how learning how to do this business. Many don't want to go knock on doors. They don't want to do cold calling. They don't want to do open houses or handing out their business cards, learning the technology, okay? Because the real estate world and today, it's all online. Yes, there is still the personable relationship. We're dealing with people. And many don't know how to deal with lots of different personalities. It takes education, okay, and learning how to deal with different personalities, okay? I'm a very dominant, direct. Get to the point, man. Just tell me what it's like. However, I have grown to change myself a little bit, be less, not compliant, but a numbers person, okay, so detailed, and become more influential in the years of learning about different personalities, what other realtors that succeed do. So we have to continually learn and not compare ourselves and realize that it's going to cost money. So many think that, oh, okay, I can get into real estate and I can start making money. No, well, you've got to pay for your MLS dues. You've got to pay for your local dues, the local MLS, the national MLS, the Texas, not MLS, sorry. To become a realtor, you pay local dues, then you pay for your state, and then for National Association of Realtors. So be ready to spend at least $2,000, okay, out of your pocket for monthly dues, quarterly dues, and then there's a monthly due for most brokerages, right? If you're not going to pay a dues, you're not going to get the training that you need, all right, and the mentorship. So many go into real estate with the wrong idea of what reality is. I highly recommend to read some books, talk to successful realtors, research them, and see, are they all over the world? Yes, they are, right? On social media. Did I like social media? Heck no, man. I was more of an introvert and into my little group of individuals. However, I had to change that. I had to stretch my envelope. I had to do things that I was nervous and, afraid of doing. We have to push ourselves to do things that we don't like if we want to succeed in an area. And many find out that, oh my God, this is a lot of work. I got to talk to buyers. I got to talk to sellers. I got to talk to title companies, lenders, inspectors, appraisers, other realtors, right? And they get offended and embarrassed and to do things, and it becomes a routine that you have to make, and it's a everyday situation. Of course, once you build your business, okay, you set your own schedule. You're your own boss. We must educate our clients, okay, and set boundaries. Because what did I used to do? Man, somebody called me, hey, I want to go see this property. Okay, I'll be right there. Get in the car. I didn't know about getting a pre-approved. This is when I first started, and even for years, right? I didn't like working with buyers because I wasn't experienced. I liked knocking on doors and talking to people and solving their issue, okay? And I learned a lot as an investor. I took so many seminars. I probably spent like $80,000, okay, learning to be an investor. And I bought properties and refurbished some and sold them, and scripts and practice. So there's a lot to this world of real estate that there is a major misconception. So you've got to deal with so many personalities, and it's not just the fun of going to show houses and get buyers. A lot of times buyers don't show up. And even when we confirm, deals fall apart, you get stressed, you cry, you yell, you scream, lots of things. All right, in this real estate business. Your car breaks down and you can't make it. So what do you do now? Get an Uber. All right. Technology has improved a lot of things. All right. So you read books like these are just a few of the books. Okay. Grant Cardone, the 10X. Okay. How to become limitless. Don't limit yourself or let anybody else limit you. And he talks about how to prepare, how to set your mind, your mindset. Another one, Grant Cardone, again, the Millionaire Booklet. Okay. This woman, all right, on relaunching your real estate business, Success Faster on Fire. This is an excellent book for beginners, and it's on my it's on the description below. Did I like reading? No. Okay. And so you've got to really be organized. Okay. Just effing do it. All right. Don't think so much about it. Get your mindset. Okay. Millionaire mindset. And if you're going to buy some of these books, hey, use one of my Amazon links and give me Sell or Be Sold. Learn how to sell. YouTube secrets. Once I became a YouTuber, there's so much out there to learn. And that's what you have to do as a realtor, as an individual. Okay. So that's a little bit about the reasons of why people fail. Every year you've got to pay at least $2,000 of dues, expenses, and sorry, one of my family members is calling, and there's a lot that goes into this business. Okay, so you guys research it. Okay, if you have lots of children, you know how to organize and stuff, but if you don't have the money, it's really tough. So good morning. Thank you for all the great information. Quick question. I failed national portion at one point. Any other suggestions besides studying? Practice lots of questions. Don't just study the material. Practice lots of questions. Okay. And no, get your mindset correct, like that book. Okay. Change your schedule. If something isn't working, changing the same thing. If you keep doing the same thing, it's not going to change the result. Okay. So just studying the books, okay, it's not going to help you pass. So you have to study, organize all the questions, different questions. There's a lot of them free online. Understand the questions, the vocabulary, the answers. Is that called studying? Yes. Okay. But is it studying the material, the information, the content, the topics? No. It is reviewing lots and lots of questions and the answers until you get 100. Many individuals say do it until you get a 70 score or 80. Well, most of the questions on the books, okay, a lot of times are easier. The questions at the exam, they keep changing them. And sometimes they take them from old books. They have a huge pool of questions. And they're there to help you think common sense, like if you're in the real world. So you have to study, but you've got to put yourself in a good position and a good location, maybe mild classical music to study, a diffuser to smell nicely and be relaxed. It takes different things other than just saying, I'm going to study. Do it in 20 to 25 minute sessions. Take a 1 to 2 minute break and then do it again. Okay. And so love Grant Cardone. He's great. Yeah, he's all over the place. Oh my God, that man. That's why, he can become annoying and he doesn't care, right? Because he's doing excellent at what he does. Persistence. Okay, consistent. So, you just have to learn and implement. Don't just study and then do nothing with it. Do a lot of questions and vocabulary. Go look at real estate in the weekends. Go see what realtors are doing at the open houses. Go visit some. Go see what it's really like. Start working on it now. Before I passed, while I was studying my exam, I started going to open houses, on the weekends. Every day I would get the keys from the company and go. I didn't have my license. You're going to say, well, how could you do that? Well, I developed a relationship with a brokerage that I was thinking of joining, 2 different ones, right? And they trusted me. Okay. And they saw me there every day, like at 6 o'clock in the morning, studying all day. And then in the afternoon, I would go look at houses. And then in the evening, I was doing other things. I wanted this and I did it. Okay. And people were saying, why do you work so much? I see you there at work. Go home. Okay. Don't be staying there so late. Okay. You're going to listen to them or you're going to listen to you? You got to listen to you. I mean, yes, we need to take care of ourselves. And that's why sometimes I get sick. All right. Because I overdo it. However, to get something that you want, to accomplish something and do it, it takes a lot of work, a lot of commitment, a lot of persistence, a strong mind, a great mindset, and thick skin. And most people do not have that. Okay. Most people do not want to do what it takes and realize that it takes money to make money. However, if you start doing a lot of rentals, you're going to get $200 here, $300 there. And, it's taking a while to go show property. But you know what? That $200 will pay a whole quarterly and other expenses. You do more of those, they start adding up to $1,000, right? You start getting practice with clients. So if you want to start with $1 million properties right away, do you have experience even doing a rental? Do you have experience even doing a small house? No. Now, if you grew up in a $1 million home experience, you're going to know a lot of those individuals. So I don't know if I answered your question, but you still have to study. You have to change the different ways of how you study if it's not working. And many individuals fail the exams multiple times, 3 times, 6 times, 9 times. Do they give up? No. And some of those individuals are now very successful realtors. Okay. So, all right. Long story there of example of what it's like. And we're going to go into state questions. We're only going to do 5 state questions. And thank you for staying on and listening. It's really stuff that you need to hear and realize what it's like in the real world. Can it be easy? Yeah, it's a lot of work. Okay. And many times I've wanted to give up. Okay. Throw my gloves in. And I didn't. When, how does it go? When things get tough, the tough get going. The tough keep going. So, so very informative. All right. Thank you so much, Sandra Hidalgo. Okay, let's do some Texas state questions. Okay, I got the wind out of me. So we're starting out with 1214. Okay, on Texas state. And if you have the book, and that's on page 205. Let's see, page 205. Yeah, right there. Okay, and if you're wanting to know where the answers are, they're on page 283. But I don't want you to look at the answers right now. All right, well, where are we at throughout 1214? All right. So here we go. Texas real estate questions. Okay, and these questions might be dealing with I'm not sure the particular topic. We'll figure it out while we're doing it. So if I disappointed you and it became sad here that a large percentage failed, well, you know what? You know what to do. Focus on all the things that I mentioned and be the 13% that do succeed. And some people just want to check it out, see what it's really like, and that type of thing. And individuals change careers and topics in college. So same here. Okay. Number 14 for Texas real estate. So on my YouTube channel, hey, start noticing little shorts that I'm doing about what the real world is like in real estate, including, are we realtors or are we realtors? There is no A between the L and the T, or there isn't an A. All right, number 14. Actually, number 15. Which of the following are causes for the deactivation of a business entity license? A, the business obtains E&O insurance. B, the entity elects to deactivate. C, the entity fails to complete a transaction in a 12-month period. Or D, the designated broker is promoted to president of the corporation. So which one causes a deactivation of a business entity? Type your answer in the chat. All right, so we've got 12B, B. Anyone else? Hey, you all, come on, send me some love. Click the thumbs up on the YouTube channel, okay? If you're finding this useful. Yes, the answer is B. The entity elects to deactivate. Only they can deactivate, okay, their entity license. Number 16. All right, which of the following is true regarding the maintenance of one's license status? Okay, regarding the maintenance of our own license status, what is true? A, deactivating brokers must give sponsored sales agents a 30-day notice from the date of the application. B, a sponsoring broker has to notify TREC of a sales agent firing within 1 week of the occurrence. C, to reactivate broker license, the broker must satisfy all CE requirements and take 3-hour ethics update course. Or D, to reactivate a sales agent license, licensees must complete a 3-hour legal update course. Right, Miss Annie, you are ahead of us even before the question. And the answer is A. Deactivating brokers must give sponsored sales agents a 30 days advance notice from the date of the application. So if a broker is deactivating their license, they've got to give their sponsorees 30 days notice so that they can find another broker to hang their license. Okay, so we're now going into a new topic, standards of conduct in brokerage practice. Okay, standards of conduct. Number 13.1, licensees must conspicuously display Form 1-1, a consumer disclosure form. Its central message is, okay, and this form is displayed in TREC, and it's something that we have to include in all our email and social media, including the IABS. A, licensees should abide by the rule, caveat emptor, let buyers beware. B, licensees do not necessarily represent the party who compensates them. C, TREC maintains a recovery fund that may be used to satisfy judgments against licensees who have violated the law. Or D, licensees are not bound by any duty to maintain confidentiality in their dealings with customers and clients. Okay, so what is the form 1-1? All right, so I've got CCC. Awesome. And yes, the answer is C. TREC maintains a recovery fund, right? That is some money that is held there that may be used to satisfy judgments against licensees who have violated the law. So if a client or somebody complains, they have 4 years, right? Statute of law is they have 4 years to complain on us. And of course, TREC has to evaluate that and determine whether it's a valid complaint. And should the individual win, that recovery fund is used to pay them liquidated damages. And then we have to reimburse TREC. We are protected by E&O, errors and omissions. So we have error and omission on every single contract. Contract or listing agreement. Okay, because contracts, sometimes they call everything a contract. It's a document, okay? But then we say listing agreement, lease agreement, buyer and sales contract. So don't get so confused with when it says agreement versus contract. So a contract is solidified when a buyer and a seller agree to all terms and they actually sign the bottom line and it's executed. Number 2, unbeknownst to a buyer, an intermediary informs a seller that the buyer will pay a premium price to the seller for the seller's property. In this case, is this an acceptable disclosure? Okay, again, unbeknownst to the buyer. So the buyer didn't know. An intermediary, who's the intermediary, the broker that's representing both sides, right, informs a seller that the buyer will pay a premium price for the seller's property. So A, yes, since the intermediary represents a seller, he is acting in the seller's best interest. B, yes, since it is common knowledge that the buyer is on a very tight deadline to move in. C, no, since the intermediary did not receive the buyer's authorization to make such a disclosure. Or D, no, since the disclosure violates the agent's fiduciary duty to the buyer. So what can that intermediary broker do? Can they do that or not? Because who actually is representing the particular principal on the buying side and on the selling side when they both fall under the same umbrella? Each particular agent, right? Assigned by the broker. In real terms, it's the agent that attracts the client, not necessarily the broker, but all contracts and agreements belong to the broker. So the answer is C. It says, no, since the intermediary did not receive the buyer's authorization to make such a disclosure. So there has to be a written disclosure by a principal to disclose some information like this. Buyer will pay a premium price for the seller's property. And so that is, if a realtor is doing that, they're violating realtor/agent, they're violating the client's their fiduciary duty to that client. We cannot share the price or say that they are a motivated seller if our seller has not given us that permission to do so in writing. Now, sometimes you will see that in listings on the MLS, and that's because we have permission to say seller is motivated. All right, number 3. A licensee is charged with felony fraud, pleads no contendere, and all charges are dismissed. In this case, the licensee is, so what is felony, fraud, pleads no contendere, and dismissed? So A, may have his license suspended or violated. B, must notify the real estate commission of the guilty plea. C, is exempt from any commission notification since there was no guilty plea. Or D, has done nothing wrong. So a licensee who is charged with felony fraud pleads no contendere, no contest, right? So what is, and all charges are dismissed. In this case, what could happen? Hi, LaQuinn. So we've got A, and yes, the answer is A. May have their license suspended or revoked. Doesn't mean will. It says may. So it'll be up to the Texas Real Estate Commission to review all that. And, just a curiosity here. So they did nothing wrong. Well, somehow they were charged with a felony. So they did do something wrong, right? But they were found, they plead not guilty. And are they exempt from any commission notification? No, not at the time. And must notify the real estate commission of the guilty plea. Well, yes, but what is the best well, they didn't plead guilty, okay? They pled no lo contendere. Okay, so that's why the others do not apply, right? There's guilty plea. No, there was no guilty plea. They did not choose the guilty plea. They said no contest. All right, number 4. Oh, come on. Okay, so number 4 is going to be small. Number 4, a licensee opts to use a custom design form to transact a residential sale. The contract used was a bona fide sales agreement used extensively prior to the existence of TREC promulgated forms. In this case, the licensee is what? A, faces legal exposure for the unauthorized practice of law. B, could have the license suspended or revoked. C, may supplant a promulgated form with a previously used contract with impunity. Or D, has no commitment, has not committed any violation of license law. Okay, so my contacts get dry with the ring light in front of me, because the ring light is warm. All right, so what is 13.4? And yes, the answer is B. Great job, Lisbeth, LaQuinn, Cindy. All right, number 5. Well, let's see if I can get it on the next page. Yes, there we go. Be a little larger. No. Number 5, which of the following is a license law violation? A, failing to retain trust fund records for the required 6 years. B, advertising listings without an advertising license. C, failing to recommend that a buyer obtain an inspection on a transaction. Or D, failing to disclose a previous license tenancy from another state and on the license application. So which one is a license law violation? So it's like, which one must we do? All right, so we have DDD so far. Come on, come on. Okay, Melisbeth. Okay, going once, going twice, gone. The answer is D. Failing to disclose a previous license tenancy from another state on the license application. TREC does ask that. It asks you if you've ever held another license. Therefore, we must be honest and answer that, right? So that is an honesty question. So the answer is D. Very good, y'all. Okay, so that's it for the Texas State questions. Any questions before we call it a day? So here's the time to ask. You can ask questions about the exam or about the real life in real estate. I'm willing to share the reality, the truth, okay, of me doing business in real estate. And we have to do everything legal and follow the rules, okay? Some rules are meant to be broken, like speeding, which I have a tendency to do. And however, they're a guide for us to follow, right? To stay within the law. That's why there's rules and policies and procedures that we must follow. And it's up to us to make sure that we follow them. They'll be provided to us and given us reminders, yet it's up to us. Any questions? Come on, now's the time to do it. And thank you for all the thumbs up. Hi, Maria. Thank you for joining us. Okay, here is, what is some advice with just starting and learning? All right, Maria. Now, at what point are you? Have you already taken all your courses and you're now preparing for the exam? At what stage are you? You're very welcome, Lisbeth. Because you say just starting and learning. So I'm not sure if you're doing the 6 classes required by TREC or if you've already, okay, so let's say here. Yes, I need to pass the state on Tuesday. Okay, so you've already passed the national, is that correct? And now you just need the state. You're welcome, Lyquian. So to pass the state, okay, continue to practice state questions, review what you have missed. When you take your exams, right, you get a results and it tells you there which sections you end up being weak on because they itemize the number of questions on the test and how many you got right. So point out and highlight those sections that you were weak on and go and review questions on those topics or review those topics of those questions. Look at the vocabulary in those questions and study those vocabulary. Do some flashcards. You know, there's you can create flashcards, okay, on index cards. Like, for example, oh, and there's also flashcards. So one of my script partners, okay, which I'm going to also do, is creating little flashcards on rebuttal or objections, how to handle objections that we get from sellers when we're cold calling. And so do you think we also do that? Yes, we do. And so I have my state following Tuesday. You got this. Okay. So continue watching state questions. Okay. There aren't that many YouTube videos, okay, on state. I'm one of the ones that focuses a lot on Texas because I am here in Texas. And so in your prep books, okay, you want to do that. Now in my, hold on here. Let me show. So to really, pass your your exams, okay, you need to really find an area that you're comfortable with studying and do it continuously every day until you take your exam. And let me show you on my notes here. All right, so on the description of each YouTube channel, I have this. So here's tips for test taking day. There's a little video on that. And, go and continue watching Texas exam questions, okay, on my YouTube channel. Study them on your book. Go to Trek, okay, and you can study their particular state questions depending on your weak area, because there's a lot of questions there, and those are free, right? And this particular book, it's free online, and you can click on that link right there, that bit.ly, and the one on Amazon means you're buying it, but you can click the free one here. It has 4 exams for the state. Now, a few questions are outdated on the state. However, this one breaks down the questions on topic. So after each exam, there's a 1-page that breaks down the questions according to topic. Go review that. So download that book. There's also the day before. Let me see. Did I put it on here? One of my students, recommended, and I thought I put it on here. On my Facebook group, okay, I have the night before the exam. It gives you things to pay attention to. So let me share. Okay, let me stop this share screen here. And let me share a different screen. All right, you should be seeing. So on my private Facebook group, okay, this one here, Agentprep, Real Estate Exam Prep. I have guides here that you can click on. And there's vocabulary there. This one here, Exam Prep Cheat Sheet and Test Taking Tips. So that one says night before the exam cheat sheet. You can use this. You can go to my Facebook group. If you're not a member, request to join. Make sure you include your name and your email, because then I won't approve you if I'm not sure who you are. And so studying the night before the exam cheat sheet, okay, gives you tips and ideas. And if your exam is on Tuesday, don't cram till the night before and stay up till 2, 3, or 4 o'clock in the morning, because it can get stressful, okay, on the day of the exam. So pace yourself. Okay, but I have a lot of free material that I've collected from students or from other websites, other Facebook groups and such, that you can download on there. So let's see here, Cindy. Yes, LaQueen, go get it, girl. I just had to schedule mine because I've been prolonging. Yeah, I wondered. And then another question. How is the environment of the business? Are people formal and serious or laid back? What people are you talking about? What environment? You make the environment. So explain a little bit further. You're going to have all kinds of people. Don't expect people to be one type. Okay? You're going to have nice people. You're going to have rude people. You're going to have mean people, people that shut the door, hang up on you, get angry at you, and others that are really nice and pleasant to work with, and you develop long-term relationships with. So what in particular? The business is a very interesting world. Anything and everything can happen. You can be surprised every day. Something different can happen every day. Now, your schedule, your routine, your activities, that can be consistent. And there are certain things that we do, okay, every day. look at our MLS, okay, do cold calling or door knocking or open houses on the weekends. Certain of those activities we continue to do in the office with other agents, okay? Well, not all offices now have a brick and mortar office. So our business, our office, we're on the cloud. We work out of our home. So we don't go to a physical brick and mortar office like I used to go. I work out of my home and then I go and meet clients, show properties. You don't have to go to an office. However, if you do go to an office, every environment is going to be different. And that's one thing that I did look at when I was looking for an office that I wanted to be at when I started years ago. So I liked, an uplifting, positive, environment. Okay, energetic. That's the kind of environment I like. Some may not. So it depends how many realtors they have in there. So it depends what kind of broker you're going to choose. You need to go and determine what you are comfortable with. Every environment is different. There is no one type of environment at an office. It is an environment of being productive and making things happen, interacting with other realtors or brokers, assistants, and all technology and stuff. However, you're going to interview lots of different offices. You could also interview EXP, but if you have to go to an office, a brick and mortar office every day, and that's the way that you would prefer, then go and interview different companies and let them show you around and get a feel of what it's like, how everyone else is reacting. But it's tough to find out in one day when you go interview. So wait a minute. So like Queen can't take it. So hope that answered. It's not a laid back business of anything. It's not a laid back business because you're having to hustle to create your money, to create your leads, to create your find your clients and do business. That's not laid back. No way. That's why it can be very stressful for a lot of people and they get out of the business. And some people are serious, some are laid back. It just depends on what their goals are, what their intent are, what their vision is. So, Elza, if you're not scared, then it's not tough enough for you. Okay. It's normal to be scared and nervous. If you're not, it's not a big enough dream for you. And that's to be expected. I was scared of multiple choice, questions. And in 2 of the states that I took my exams, I missed it the first time by 1 point. Yes, that was very frustrating. Did I stop? No. I went and took it again. I did more studying and I'm very persistent, okay, and competitive. But I learned that competition and perfectionist isn't always best. However, persisting for what you want is. And so it's okay to be scared. Give yourself permission to be scared. However, keep doing the activities and do it. Because if you never do it, if you're scared of something and you never do it, you're going to stay scared for the rest of your life. Okay. So Cindy, if anyone knows how I've seen groups of people start a study group via online, I'll look into it for the state exam. Laquian, Maria Gittens, and anyone who would like to. You can create your own little study group and you can do it on Zoom or Hangout or Google. There's so many, or Messenger. There's so many free online stuff that you can do and create a group, even if you're in different areas of Texas. So studying with someone else helps because you get to practice with another person. I do script practicing with at least 5 different realtors throughout the US, okay, every day. Did I like doing it in the past? No, I didn't. All right. I thought it was weird. I thought it was crazy, the things that we say, but those things have been proven and they work on knowing a script. People that create movies, what do they learn? They've got to practice their script, right? In order to be in a movie and know exactly what to say. The same with us for dealing with buyers and sellers. So we practice scripts, or you go out there and learn by practicing. Okay, by going out there in the field and just starting to learn, you do it. You're very welcome, Elsa. And so I've got to trust myself and never give up. That is correct. Trust yourself, listen to yourself, and not everybody else out there. There will be many who will attempt to um, be naysayers, and they say, well, if you're scared, why do it? Well, if you're scared of swimming and you want to learn how to swim, are you going to listen to them and not do it? Or are you going to go take swimming lessons or go into the shallow area and start practicing and taking baby steps? You're going to do it by taking baby steps. Okay. When you first started driving, were you scared or were you not scared? You might have been scared. Me, I was excited, man. I want to do anything and everything, right? I love challenges. Okay. And I'm adventurous. Have I been scared sometimes? Heck yeah. Many a time. Do I keep doing it? Do I go talk to people who do it and expose myself to them, go in their environment? Yes, so that I can learn from them, learn techniques. I'm always learning. I'm always studying something and learning. And that never ends. And did I like being on camera on here? Heck no. This was the last thing I ever wanted to do, be in front of a camera that the world could see me. Oh man, I was so shy, such an introvert. And many are going to say, you, Lily, shy? Yes, well, there's different types of shyness. There's shyness from the whole world, being in large public. And but with a small little group or my particular best friends, I was cool. I was a talker. However, if you put me in a large group, I'd go to the background. I'd sit in the background. I'd kind of hide. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to say. I didn't want anything. I didn't like that about me. I was a big introvert. I didn't know what that meant until, more now recently that I do a personality assessment test. And it bluntly told me, yes, I'm an introvert type of personality. However, in certain environments, we start to become more comfortable and we do it. But introverts like to think on their own. They like to do a lot of things on their own, and they push themselves to do other things. And so I have stretched myself a lot. And I was writing a book called Breaking Barriers. Okay, let's see here. Someone said to me that it's a bad moment for real estate, and I think not for me. You know what? Do people need homes? Do people relocate? Do people need a roof over their heads for their children, their families, their loved ones, their animals? The world is always changing. There's always a need for real estate. We just learned the strategies, the approaches that we need to take on different markets. Stop listening to what everybody else says that's not doing real estate. Do they live in a house? Do they rent? Okay. Do they own? Do they invest? Pay attention to who the voice is that's talking to you. What experience do they have? So the market can be good and can be bad, and people are still going to buy and sell. So it's always the right time to get in. It'll depend on what activities you do and what actions you take for your business, because this is your business. No one else's, unless you're under a team that you pay a large commission to, and a lot of realtors start that way, and that is awesome. They learn a lot of techniques for lead generation. As long as you do lead generation, you'll make it happen. You talk to a lot of people, you ask a lot of questions, you'll succeed in the business. You change your strategy when something isn't working. You read books to learn. You attend seminars. You attend networking events. You attend training. You will learn and do it. Yes, I have done some commercial property, not a lot. I have predominantly focused on residential. However, I did own myself an 8-plex apartment building, and that is considered commercial. And I did help some individuals with commercial rentals and commercial land, agriculture land. However, I am more of a residential realtor. I was told that I would be an excellent commercial realtor because I don't take things personal. and I'm a numbers individual. However, I just never did it. Okay, face pink tears. Okay, not sure what that means. Maybe it's a song, maybe it's a book, face pink tears. So stop listening to the fact that, see, that's a naysayer. It's a bad moment for real estate. Really? Then why are there still so many houses being built and people needing rentals and people moving around the country? We don't live in the same house the rest of our life mostly now. Most people move every year, every 2 years, several years. Okay. And it's not our forever home. Okay. Technology, careers, education, family, environment, the millenniums, and attitudes have changed and they have different beliefs, different wants and needs. Therefore, we move around. I have moved so many times. Oh my gosh, so many times. I've lived in different states. Yes, I agree with you 100%. It's stressful. I took and I failed. Once I pass, I will join EXP. I keep running away from the test face pink tears. I know everyone in here will pass. All right, Annie. So hopefully you'll interview with me with EXP unless you already have someone from EXP that you already know. I'm with EXP, so if you'd like to talk to me, we can do that. If you've already chosen someone, hey, stay with them and make sure it's the right person at EXP that you want to join. All right. Do you know what's the average interest rate right now? It's in the low sixes. Okay. And there's a national average and there's a state average. Okay. The interest rate changes. You can look it up on bankrate.com or look up, interest rates online. But I get a phone message every week from one of my lenders that lets me know how the interest rate is changing. And so the interest rate had gone down to like 6. So we had gone up to about 7.5. And then it started going down. And I just had 2 clients that closed last month at 6.875. And now it's going down to 6. Buyers can actually buy down their interest rate to go down lower. It could cost them, several $1,000s to do that, to get a lower interest rate. And they're saying that the lender that I listen to his messages every week, it says there's some, information out there that there could be going down to the 5s. We don't know yet. Okay, because it changes. It changes. And so depending on the status of the country, whether we're in inflation or deflation or good economy or bad economy, interest rates change with the prime rate, depending on the condition, the state of the country. Okay, so you can Google that and look real quick. However, if you were to go look, okay, I want to know what it is for me, they're going to say, oh, okay, what state do you live in? What's your address? And it's going to depend on your credit score, your debt to income ratio. So it depends on a lot of things. But the average, I think, nationwide right now is somewhere in the 6s. And yet it changes a little bit with every state. Yes, all of you will pass. And make sure you interview different brokers, okay? And if you join a brokerage and then you find out, man, you know what? This is not the one that I really like. Move. Okay, before you start buying all the signs, and even if you have bought signs, okay, that's a business expense that you're going to write off, but yet it's a current expense now. It impacts your pocket now, right? So you have to evaluate all that, do the pros and cons. And I have been with so many different real estate companies, but not because I didn't like them. Since I was an engineer and I would get laid off, and I was also investing, okay, as an investor, a lot of brokerages get nervous with an individual as an investor. So every time I went back to engineering job and then I lost my job, I'd come back to my own brokerage and I discuss it with them about how more I wanted to invest. And if they get nervous, then I say, that's okay. I'll go look for someone that is more open-minded about investing. So I always had great, excellent relationships with my brokerages, and I learned from each one. However, I did move from brokerage to brokerage, and they all have different cap rates. They have different percentages. Some of them are similar. Some offer more training, some less. Some offer mentoring for certain deals. And some might share some leads. But keep in mind, are they going to give you top leads when you're first getting started? No, they're there to make money, okay, just like you are. So they're going to give real excellent leads to top producers, not to beginners. So when somebody is promising you that they're going to give you leads, be realistic. Are you a very experienced realtor or are you a beginner? They're going to give you something that you can get your feet wet and see how you perform, how you do it, what actions you take. So they're going to test you, right? Because those brokers are there to make money from you. We're hanging our license there. And that's why we pay them a commission. And if that upsets you and if that you have to pay somebody else, then get over it. Because you're going to have to pay anywhere unless you open your own dang office and then you pay all the other expenses. I know, because I've been there. Is it true this year that houses will go up more of interest? Elsa, you're asking questions that there's no, how do you call it? There's no crystal ball. All right. And you have to research something that you hear online, talk to other people, listen to what NAR, National Association of Realtors, that or Texas Association of Realtors, individual companies that do a lot of statistics and research. And right now, prices are going down here in our area in Texas and then throughout most of the United States. So it depends on what price range you're dealing with. But we were in a hot market for sellers, okay, for a couple of years, that sellers were getting multiple offers and getting more than what the price was, the home was listed for. At this point, because the interest rates have gone up, okay, and so the situation why there were so many multiple offers in the past was because the interest rates were so low, went down to the mid twos, and maybe for some individuals, the low twos. Well, now we're up to 6, and we were at 7.5. So the higher the interest rate, the less buying power an individual has. So if they were initially thinking of buying a $500,000 house when the interest rate was 3%, and now it went up to 6%, that's a double percentage of interest rate, right? Now they have less buying power. They're going to buy a less expensive home than they did. However, prices have been going down. So they're still going to be able to get something close to them as prices are going down. So interest rates have gone up. Prices have been reducing, okay? There's lots of price reductions. But is it true that this year houses will go up more of interest? Not necessarily, okay? When the interest rates goes too high, there are less buyers, okay? They start to rent. There's more demand for rentals. So it's a supply and demand. Interest rate is high, less supply, less demand on homes, and also the less supply of homes. Another question. Me and my husband were planning buying a house this year, but not with a high interest rate. Well, why not? You're going to maybe buy a house that has been reducing. And what if the interest rates go up again? So what are you waiting for? People are going to buy and sell at any time. So then you could have bought, just a few months ago when the interest rates were really low. So if we sit around and wait, you never take any action. You never know how the economy is going to change. There can be a trend, but it takes time to learn the trend. You can ask the seller to pay some of your buyer closing costs. You can ask the seller to buy down your interest rate. There are different strategies, okay, to buying homes in this type of market where the interest rates have gone up. You can buy down the interest rate and end up with a lower interest rate. It'll cost you upfront money, and you can ask for the seller to pay some of that money, or you pay it upfront. You have to look at the long-term effect. How long does it take to recoup the upfront cost? Are you going to live in that home for 5 years, 10 years, or just 2 years? Okay, so there's a lot of things that we have to look at. Okay, not just because people used to buy homes when the interest rate was 15%. We're now at 6. Oh my gosh. We got so used to 3%, okay? 6%. Okay, when you have credit cards, what kind of an interest do you pay on the credit cards? 12, 15, 20, 23, 25, 30%. And some of us have a huge credit card debt. You could have, 10,000, 20,000, 5,000, and you're paying 25% interest. So a home is your most expensive purchase. Okay. So you look at it in the long term. The interest rate might be a little higher, but then you're going to get to write off the property taxes. You get to write off the interest paid on the loan, on your taxes. So there are benefits that the government then helps us for in the when it comes down to tax time. There's so many factors to look at when making a decision. You don't just look at the interest rate. You look at, what are the benefits of owning versus renting? What strategies can you take to lower that interest rate? What will you get when you buy a home? Like I mentioned, you'll have write-offs, okay, tax shelters. You have tax shelter by owning a home because you can write off the property taxes and write off the interest, okay? So makes your taxes lower at the end of the year. And if you're paying already 20 to 25% interest on your credit card, come on, look at what 6% interest rate is. And what if they go up again? There's a what if they go up? What if they go down? At the same point, when the interest rates go up, the prices of homes come down. So what if they go down low enough to where you can afford still a home and have a roof over your head? And then you stay in it for a few years, and then eventually the market goes back up. Market cycles like every 7 to 10 years. What goes up must come down, and what comes down must go up. So if you look at the trend of life for years and years of the real estate and the stock market and the economy, we've had so many ups and downs. Okay, so many ups and downs. And people still need product, food, cars, gasoline, homes, clothes, everything. And we find a way to do it. We adjust our expenses. Says Annie, yes, I will get with you right now. I just want to pass. Yes, pass. That's the crucial part. I'm trying to sell my house. It's been in the market sitting and interest, yes. And you are right. It's take time. It's just overall craziness. Yes. So if it's craziness having your house on the market, that's part of what real estate business is like when you get in the real world. Okay. And if it's staying on the market too long, ask your realtor to do another comparable, see the strategy, find out what your motivation to sell is, and make adjustments. It may require that you adjust your list price. It may require that you contribute toward the buyer closing costs, to buy some of their buy down, to get the house in the best condition, okay, and aesthetically that you can, curb appeal inside, make it look great, okay, because put yourself in a buyer's shoes. What's a buyer going to do? They're going to look at everything, right? And if there are two similar homes and one is less expensive and taken better care of, well, they're going to take that one. So if you keep your price up too high, people are going to look at yours and then go to another one and buy the other one if they're similar. So don't be stuck on the price. That's not always the best decision. It depends on price, location, and condition. Properties sell because of price, location, and condition. And then the negotiation with the buyer and the seller. So the actual real estate market value, the value of that property, is when the buyer and the seller come to a decision on a price. That's the current market value of that particular home. When a buyer and the seller agree and it closes. All right. So if no further questions, lots of great questions. This was awesome. I loved it. I may have to go live and just to answer questions from students or individuals if you're in transactions yourself right now. So you've got to look at the big picture. Do I stage houses? It depends on the property. Okay. If the owner has taken the advice that we provide on declutter and we can stage them, sometimes we have our own material or our own equipment or furniture to stage homes. Other times we don't. We could hire a staging company and the seller will pay for that, or depending on if we charge a high enough interest rate or we charge a listing fee, then we can pay for that. So it depends. Staging is not always, it's not always absolute. It depends on the property, the inside of the home, what the seller has. It's recommended. However, there's also virtual staging. And what is that? It means it's done by a videographer, and you can show a vacant room and then virtually stage it. So there's different types of staging on a property. We can help the owners reduce the amount of furniture in the home by asking them to put it in their garage or rent a storage space, and then use a few of their pieces, okay? Throw blankets, photos, towels and things like that to keep it really neat and clean. And there's certain colors that we use for staging. You can research that. That's how I've done it. And attend trainings and classes. So is it always done? No, there is no always. It depends, okay, on the staging. So I helped my current seller, okay, stage it, but she had very few furniture, really nice things. I took some of my staging things that had the colors on it before the professional photographer went and took professional pictures. And I paid for those professional pictures, right? Our goal is to attract a ready, willing, and able buyer as a listing agent and to bring that contract from a pre-approved buyer in interacting with the realtors. So there is a lot that goes through it. There is a lot that you will have to learn. It becomes overwhelming, and then you have to decide what you're going to focus on, buyers or sellers or both, and what areas you're going to focus on. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of activities and learning. This is a lifetime learning career. It's like having your own little business. You got to start building and building and building. The more you make, the more you start to invest back into yourself and into the business. Thank you, Ms. Wild Lillie Handy. Thank you so much. Happy Saturday, everyone, and good luck to all. Congrats on your passing your test. Trophy yellow smiling. Yoo-hoo! Awesome. Thank you so much. And I love you all. I mean, I thrive for you all. I do this because of those of you that attend, and I've learned a lot about YouTube. So there's multiple reasons. But when I started back in 2014, I started tutoring one person. And that young lady is Gloria, and she's still in touch with me. All right. She's not at EXP, but maybe later on. Okay. The best professional never stop to study. That is correct. In fact, individuals that want to keep learning, we always learn and study. My brother used to call me, and still does, I'm a professional student. I'm a live student. Not that I go to college, but I'm always learning something. During COVID, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now? So I learned how to do videos, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 1 minute, 3 minutes. Each different social media requires a certain length of a video or just a photo or, TikTok, okay, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all these different social media have their own minimal requirements. A lot have now moved into shorts, right? And so that's why YouTube now has shorts. So during COVID, I learned a lot of new things. And my biggest one is YouTube. I love the YouTube, and I got to understand it. You're very welcome, Delta. Thank you for my time. And Laquian, you're very welcome also. So Bless to all of you. Love you. Keep studying and focus on what your goals are and your mission and what is your big vision. Okay? You got to think big. And if you're not scared, you're not thinking big enough. So make this 2023 your year to pass and be a realtor and have your own business and stick with it. Put some super glue on you. Thanks for today live class. It helped me learn more about national. Can't wait to keep watching more live with you until my day of my test. Bye. Thank you so much, Elsa. So you all, love you all, and keep studying in short sessions. And until next time, catch you all later. Have an awesome, awesome weekend.